That cue ball stays up for Neil Raybone. I'm not quite sure how it did, but it did. And take a look at this finish. If they can get a ball, this is a wonderful chance. Probably, honestly, on either colour set that looks inviting.
I don't think they've got to look at a yellow, not unless they want to take the one down the table, which is highly unlikely. So it would be reds, but reds probably would be the choice anyway. If you have ball in hand, you'd go reds. But they have missed the first ball. For Ryan and Tony, if they are going to cause the upset tonight, it needs to start here. You know, I think ever since the first match, we've kind of felt that we know what's going on out there, and you know, we're not doing a disservice to Ryan and Tony. It's just, you know, we're talking about levels of the game, but if they are going to create that shock, then it's going to be by taking down Andy and Neil, and they need to do it by punishing that mistake, because this layout here is good. It's time for them to really show it. They need to play a level up on what they did in their first match.
Big ask. Reds are all there. Don't think that's the greatest shot that Tony's ever played.
They're in trouble with the visit already. You're absolutely right. It's a good recovery. A step one on the recovery. They're now thin on the one to top left. The cue ball's going to be running a little wild here. That'll do. That'll do nicely. Now it's all about the 8-ball here. This is what tells you which way to go. How easy to get on the 8-ball from the one to bottom right. Doesn't go left centre, so you're happy with it up the table. If you're happy with it up the table, then leave it for your 8-ball. The other option would have been to take the red to bottom right and try and get back out to somewhere just left side of the 8-ball, and the one they've just played would have gone top right, and that would have given them access to get on the 8-ball to bottom right.
Bet you can't believe how far he's come back.
Yeah, he should have maybe, with the way that was gone, just rip it back all the way and back out. But they knew they were going to have a tricky 8-ball, and he said, just do what you can.
And in it flies. Tony Brown absolutely flying in the Pairs Cup. He and Ryan Place go 1-0 ahead of the Razor and Andy Blurton. And Tony looks absolutely buzzing with that 8-ball, as he should be.
Yeah, it was interesting though, the layout. They, you know, just talking about how do you make that easy. Decision was there once they'd finally got hold of the cue ball and put it where they wanted, and ended up just getting it slightly wrong and left an awkward 8-ball, but very good from Tony. He's got a good layout here to go back to back. There's one red there guarded by yellows. Where's it going? 8-ball's on the cushion as well.
Well, disaster. Disaster. Just sort of swapping about with his cues there, Tony. I don't think he was playing with his break cue or anything daft, was he?
Well, maybe, but it was quite amusing. They're all by Tony. It looks like he's taken 4 cues with him, but obviously he's got Ryan's next to him as well. Just looked a bit odd.
Yellows aren't simple for Andy Blurton. First shot's big. Lovely little angle he's left there, hasn't he?
The way he played that, it tells me that the bottom yellow of the 2 goes to left centre.
Yeah.
He's happy enough to pick it apart and probably end up using the red again here. Tried. That was an edgy one.
They couldn't, could they? Oh, he's going to stay up. A grimace. Mentioned earlier on in the frame side that if they are to pull off the improbable, they have to punish Neil and Andy's mistakes. They did that quite well in the first frame, but that was a big mistake unpunished.
I agree. It felt the first frame I was actually really impressed, and this frame, 2 opportunities for Tony, and he's not looked like he's going to grab it and control it. So he has really let Andy off. Andy's got to find it now, though. In terms of, this isn't guaranteed. Connections aren't terrible, but you've got to execute from here.
Oh, well then. Can you believe it? What a chance. He's almost certainly going to get to the 8 ball. And he's got a little bit in the game here as well, because even if he hangs a difficult 8 ball, Andy's going to really struggle to get out.
Completely agree. And he's got this really nice, because you're just stunning up the line.
Oh, this is a very makeable shot. This for 2-0 to Tony Brown. And he does hang it. That was a twitchy one.
It's really important that Andy wins this, and it's going to be difficult because of where that yellow is near the 8 ball. But if there's a bit of fun and games here and it takes a little while, this could kill some time on the clock potentially, which just, if he then goes and loses it, puts all the pressure onto Neil. He's not left anything on here. I mean, obviously he's on the one to right centre, but not enough angle to force up short side, so you're not easily. So the yellow at the top's really tough. So he's thinking about really making this mixy and putting the yellow on top of the 8 ball. He just looked at the up and down. What would he leave?
Gnarly lost a turn snooker coming up, you'd imagine.
Yeah, if Tony gets this right and he's in a world of hurt, he's not going to play it. Oh, you've got to
you've
play
got
it.
to. Tony. Oh, shut up, Si. I'll shut up as well. Don't bother. Don't bother playing that shot. Just drill in the double. Tony Brown seeing sounds in the Pairs Cup arena.
Yeah, don't play the percentage play. Just take it on. They're enjoying themselves out there.
Yeah, isn't he just? I can't believe what I've just seen. That's never, ever in a million years the right shot to play, but...
No, just graze off the 8-ball, pot the yellow, and he's got no shot. You win it next visit. But it doesn't matter now the 8-ball's gone in.
Yeah.
It would be a talking point if the 8-ball doesn't go in, but it's not. The right shot, it's irrelevant. He's made the 8-ball.
Absolutely. That's incredible. What a decision. What a bit of execution. And now Neil Raybone is bang under the pump. 2-0 down.
Tell you what, doing that sort of thing annoys professional pool players as well. When they make a big shot knowing it's the wrong shot, in a professional pool player's mind, that is. I don't quite buy into right and wrong as much as some do, but yeah, it won't be lost on Neil Raybone and Andy Blurton that that was an all or nothing shot. All the pressure now on the Razor. Highest ranked player tonight, and he needs to show it here. We'll play the next 3 frames.
Yeah, it sounds trite to sort of say that was the wrong choice of shot for Tony, because he's gone and made the double and won the frame. But we'll sort of frame it this way. Neil and Andy would have been ecstatic to see him taking that on.
Oh, without it, when it was obvious he wasn't playing the loss of turn shot, both Neil and Andy would have said, oh, we're getting away with one here. And they weren't. Tiniest bit short here for Neil. Wanted to be straight in on this red, and he's caught a ball. So coming down the table now to go back up. And no real bother. Has to play a good line now. Should be able to do this with the big window. That one. Touch of class from Neil Raybone. Very good. Reverse clearance. And they'll have the next break in the Scotch frame. And then it will be back to Neil Raybone. I've seen Andy Blurton play an awful lot. That was one of the poorer frames I've seen him play, actually, that last one from him. And he's probably sat there, been thinking about it a little while. I know he's obviously been pleased to see Neil win the frame and keep his partnership in it. Andy will certainly still be feeling it a little bit. Apologies, that was a Neil Raybone break clearance, not reverse clearance.
Ryan Place with a monster break. I'll tell you what, this isn't a terrible leave.
These are all there. Red nearest the left-hand centre is the bigger problem. Do you just back yourself to make it up the table? But then what are you playing on? Yeah, it's tricky, that ball. Like you can take these 2 on the cushion, or the one on it just slightly inside, then the one on the cushion. Leave the 2 on the left-hand side last, but then you cannot be straight on the last ball. You've got to be able to get out for the 8-ball.
Wobbles in, but it went just a little bit too far.
Overhit that shot. There was no need to come across the table, because if you drop that in pocket weight, you're on the red to bottom left, which gets you on the red to top left. They've played their extension.
Well, they sort of threw that one away, really.
Yeah, they just overthought it, because so he's played all the way across the table to get on the one up to top left, to then get on the red, but then that would have left it awkward to get on the 8-ball. You might as well just use the red underneath it, get on the red on the left-hand side, just anything but straight, and it's the same big shot, but with a much easier cue ball. Anyway, they've let that one go. They didn't get as far as playing the big shot.
I think the 15-second shot clock also caught them out a little bit there, because they were not even close to getting their hand on the table.
Yeah, I mean, there's a case. I don't think it's real. I don't think it should have been called. There was a case for a loss of frame there, because there was no attempt to play a shot.
You can't be getting the referee to call that.
Well, they made no effort.
Sure. I think they made an effort sort of mentally.
Well, they didn't move.
I think it was more of a skill issue, so to speak.
Well, I think they thought, well, we're going to foul anyway. Let's run it. Let's just let it tick down. And then that is technically then... I don't know. There was look, I think the right call was made. I'm just saying they've got to be careful there.
Anyway, whilst we deliberate, Neil Raybone grimaced over this shot. Makes it excellent, decent cue ball. Off the rail is the only issue, but I don't think Andy Blurton will mind this too much. Very presentable 8-ball to get back in the game. That is a real opportunity missed for Brown and Place.
I have to say, you're saying a very presentable 8-ball. For the frame that Andy Blurton's just played previously, that 8-ball would have looked horrible to him. See almost quite a lot of relief on his face, and that's gone in.
Frame 5. Neil Raybone's break. 2 frames all.
Yeah, I'll rephrase that probably. Presentable 8-ball for Andy Blurton normally.
Yes.
I don't think it was in that exact moment. His reaction told the story there. That's a dry one. Neil Raybone. A little bit of we'll call that a half teapot. Extension called by the Brown Place duo. Tony Brown at the table. Okay. My issue with that shot that he's just played, and I don't mind the idea of the shot, but I think he's played one shot on reds and yellows look the better suit.
Often the way.
Oh, wow.
Waiting for Neil to make 3 steps before it falls in.
How is that dropped? Goodness me.
Don't mind reds now.
Yeah, especially if this one goes. Okay. It's not an obvious, easy loss of turn. How on earth did that red drop up the rail? Minute left, 2-2. Is Neil Raybone going to go? He's got an angle to fly into that corner of the table if he wants. He's turning that down.
I'm just wondering whether it squeezes in the way he's looked at this multiple times. I was expecting him to come to table, find a loss of turn, get control, and then win the frame next visit, but he's leaving it. So I think maybe it squeezes in. Or the lower one squeezes in. There we go. This one does.
So wants to move the red with this yellow.
Problem is, it's taking them too long to get there. He might not be on the next ball. Yeah. He was so worried about not being on anything, he ended up getting it a little bit on the thin side.
So it will be a draw. Tony Brown and Ryan Place. How about that for a pot, by the way? Tony Brown and Ryan Place will secure a point and they stay alive. And if they can find a win in their final match of the night, they may well be right in the mix for qualification. Andy Blurton, though, and Neil Raybone, still, you'd say, in the box seat as the Pairs Cup continues.